Your behavior is more honest than your words. How do you cope with your spouse who is withdrawing, sulking, procrastinating, and all that? Avoiding passive aggression behavior. The question is, when do this happen? What are the signs? Why do they happen? How do we cope? And is there an end to this? Welcome back again for Family Times, and we are talking about how to avoid passive aggressive behavior. To help us understand this, we have the ties, Wycliffe and Stella. It is always a pleasure to have the two of you in this living room. Karibuni sana.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Habari ya watoto?
Wako salama. Nashukuru.
Huko kwenu pia kunanyesha?
Kabisa.
Karibuni sana. Maybe you could introduce your wife.
I have the pleasure to introduce my wife, Stella. We have been together for the last 13 years. We thank God for everything.
And maybe Stella can say something so that our viewer can know.
Yes,
that
we are glad to be here today, Dave. Thanks again for having us. We are humbled, and we pray that we are meeting someone outside there. At least we'll be giving a hope to someone who is going through what we are discussing today.
Thank you so much. Once again, welcome. Welcome to the show. Dush, have you withdrawn lately?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
Ama yako ni short answers. Yes, no, yes, no.
See, just no.
Okay. Introduce our very favorite, Richard and Tabby.
Yeah. On set, we have a very lovely couple. They are fun to be with, and you can learn a lot, by the way, by interacting with them. They've been in marriage for over 20 years. Let me just say it's over 20 years.
They look like they're just from their honeymoon.
Yeah, and when you're seeing them, there's a lot of love and laughter and experience. So let me ask Richard to introduce them in a special way.
Thank you. I know Dave calls you Dush. Allow me to do the same. Welcome, our viewer. We are hoping to have a very wonderful time with you this day. And this one besides me here is Tabitha. Tabitha is my wife and my life. Karibu, Mama.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Hello, viewer. Thank you for joining us.
You know, sometimes you introduce Tabby and you melt her heart, and she even forgets.
I know.
She doesn't talk much.
No, I think it's just because of the juice that you gave us. So maybe.
Yeah, that was made by Linda.
Oh,
it's,
okay.
Tamarind.
Oh, okay.
Maybe one day you'll tell our viewers how you melt
It's very nice.
your husband's wife heart with tamarind. Now, avoiding passive aggression, aggressive behavior. What is this? Let me start with the tie. What is that? Passive aggressive behavior.
Passive aggressive behavior is a behavior that, well, let me say it is being angry or being mad in a polite way or in a soft way, but I'm putting that in quotes.
Or silent.
Because at the end of the day,
Yes.
it is still being angry, and the person that you are directing this to will get hurt. So it's still being angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did someone
saying it is okay,
You're not.
and in real it is not.
it is okay,
Yes.
but hapa chini something is brewing.
Yes.
Not even cooking, brewing.
It can be behavior which is meant to provoke anger
Yes.
in the other person whom it's being directed to. Yes.
Trying to pass a message indirectly to somebody. We expect them to be angels, to read our minds, to know what exactly we are going through. Yeah.
And to exactly know how to go about it.
Yeah. So
in
when
the best way that I want it to go.
Yes.
So that if you ask me how I'm doing, I'll say, I'm fine.
So gentlemen, I think that is where the rain starts. Linda has rightly put it that she expects me to know what is in her mind.
Right.
As if I am some kind of
Angel.
a mind reader or an angel. But then the question is, why do they happen? Why do we have passive-aggressive behavior?
Okay, maybe if I may start. For example, I've had an issue before, and then I bring this issue to the table. It is here, and I want us to handle it well. He handles it well, but now I get disappointed because I didn't get exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
So next time when the same thing happens, I'm like, even if I bring it to the table, there's nothing much will come out of what. So I decide to keep it to myself. So I'm like, it is okay, I'm okay. I know at some point I'll be okay. I'm okay.
So before bringing it to the discussion table,
Yes.
what made this happen? For example, I'll give you what we call a living example. A friend of mine would discipline the children. I almost said my children. So now when I say a friend of mine, we don't definitely mean that I'm talking about my wife here. Yani anachapa mtoto kwa kufanya utoto. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Na anamchapa in the street language says anamchapa kama burukenge. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah,
Yeah?
This is just a child. And it's bound to behave the way he or she behaved. Why do you want to beat her or him in a manner like it's me? Yeah, you kind of equate the beating as if you're beating me, so you're beating the child. You know, it's a bad thing. It's a really bad thing. Yeah, it's a very bad thing. You want to hit at me. The purpose is to reach me.
Yeah.
But you are doing this on the child. Naturally, I'm going to protest, and I'm going to reach back to you and say, what are you doing? Why do you do that to the child? Then you have an opening to bring up issues which were not child-related. Yeah. Behavior which causes issues, a behavior which makes people react to a certain way. It's like you are really fighting for a war. You want war, but you want to have it without aggression, without fighting. You want to use other means to pass a message to me.
Yeah.
Cold war.
Cold war, she said.
Cold war.
Cold war.
Kneel by mouth. We mentioned this in another episode. So I want the ladies to tell us.
Are the ladies the ones who have the problem?
No, not really.
These matters involve ladies and men, so ladies can start.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm leading the discussion, so I just want to bring the ladies in. The men will come. The men will come. So trust me. After all, they say ladies first.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure.
hey. Okay.
So you wanna go first?
Just ask the question.
Kneel by mouth. So why do this? When do they happen? When do you decide to withdraw, sulk, you know, the other aspects of aggressive behavior like procrastinations and all that?
You know, at times what happens most of the time, maybe something happens, a mistake happens. Then, maybe the way I bring it, I know you so well. I know how you've reacted in an instant. Then this is the same thing done or repeated. Then I bring it again, then you react the same way. So when it happens again, by then I will not even ask you because I know I already know what I expect. So I just keep quiet. And you will be asking me, how are things? They're okay. You're just trying to let things go. Don't want a lot of things in your mind.
So,
Yeah.
quickly, what then do you expect?
I think for us,
You're happy it continues like that because you told me the first time and I didn't hit to that, I did it again. So you're happy it continues like that. Because you are not going to talk
there are
about
some
it.
expectations that maybe I expected. The way you handle issues,
Yes.
you didn't reach where I expect you to reach.
Yes.
So when you don't reach there, I get disappointed. So when I get disappointed, what happens? I will call back. Say, I don't want to be disappointed. Maybe another thing that Dave happens is when I get disappointed, and I also sometimes don't want conflicts. Maybe if I bring up something and I find out that we go to another level that we didn't expect to go. So because I don't want conflict, I will decide to coil myself. I say, it is okay, I'm okay. Yeah.
Now, I've just decided not to take a sip of water because you've mentioned something that you want to make out, but to your expectation has not been met.
Yes.
So then it means this, whatever you are making out on, hasn't been met fully.
Yes.
So you keep it for another day. Hey.
I think the question that
I
you
feel
ask
trouble is brewing.
the question you ask is, when do these things happen?
Yes.
And I think they happen all the time. Almost all the time. And it's not we cannot associate it to one particular gender or a group of people. This cuts across the men and the women and even the children. And especially when a child feels like he cannot or she cannot confront you, that child will be aggressive passively. Yeah. So I think these things happen all the time, and maybe we need to find out why they do happen.
Good question.
Saying that, for example, that for us adults, it may seem to be like child behavior, because you're looking at this person and you have this thing that he has done which has angered you, but because you don't want to go physical, you want to go behavioral. How do you see this? You already know it. Say, oh, it's very nice. It's the best, actually. But you know what you're saying. Inside is just, this is
The
not
opposite.
it. I dislike it. I don't like it. But, okay. Yeah. So, you're very sarcastic. You're being very sarcastic. And, you know, you are hitting softly, but very aggressively. You know. Yeah, but I think people can, because all of us, as Tyler said, we go through this. Yeah, to be a lie to say that we don't go there. At least I do. I go to that place where I behave that way. Yeah, I won't shout. I won't show anything. I just look. Inwardly, I'm talking something, but quietly, I'm giving you a totally different vibe.
Someone always says
something
that
looks quite okay.
when your heart is open to the public or to that person, and see what's really inside.
It can be so dark, right?
Yeah.
There are some people who
but
will...
they say dark and lovely.
There are some people who will go nail and mouth, and there's some people, that is a way they'll pass the message, right? And there's some people who will pass it through prayer. How? When we are having devotion and it's my time to pray,
you look for
I will be talking to God and telling God, you see, God, today Richard did this and this. We have people who pass that message through prayer. So, you know, like, oh, okay, so this is what is going on.
You want to make me darker or much more sinful than God already knows that I'm not a sinner.
So that is a way of, So
Tai asked a question, why? But before we go to why, I want to ask the signs. How would you know that your partner or your spouse has withdrawn, or is not withdrawn? Withdrawal is a sign, yes. But how would you know that this is now passive aggressive behavior? Withdrawal is one of the signs.
So many things that he used to do, he's not doing. Not all at once. For instance, if he is the one who would always come with breakfast, like in the evening from work, he comes like, probably he knows if you do whatever you guys have for breakfast, if you guys take bread, suddenly he got so busy, does not even bring that bread. Suddenly, you know, things just change. But it's a little things that your spouse will start doing that will show you. He will be so sarcastic.
If we used to call it, doesn't call anymore.
Yes. Oh yeah. If you reach it,
not calling is passive aggressive.
I'm trying to understand that, because now I look back at my call logs, I realize that I've been passive. I've had this passive aggressive behavior.
There's also anger.
The entire last week.
He has not called.
I didn't call. No, I did. You did? I know you don't remember. I'll remind you. It's acting stubborn.
Yes. Acting difficult.
Yeah, the people will always tell you, oh, my mother never used to do this. So,
or when you have a deadline to meet, at times you just want to punish this other person. in some silent way. But you'll meet the deadline, but not at that pace to give someone easy time. You just want to punish that person. I feel pinch.
There's also the we call it being sarcastic, as it has been mentioned, but also giving compliments which are not really compliments. You know, like you're saying something that is good, but at the end of the day, it's going to hurt the person you are complimenting. Yeah.
Let me just anataka kudichomea, but let me just say, you know, there are some, okay, let me just give an example. There's some clothes that I love. When I go to the market and I get a dress that I love, and then I come with it, I put on and I'm like, honey, how do I look? Then genuinely, he says no, I don't like it. But in my heart, I like it, you know. So I go ahead and decide to put it on. So next time, I come to him and ask, honey, how do I look? Hata nikikwambia sasa, wacha tu iko sawa. So he says it is okay, you're okay. Yes, but in real, it is not, because he doesn't want problems with me. He will just accept. Yeah.
That looks like he has something else.
That in fact, that even happened this morning as well. And one other thing is that you have discussed over something, maybe a visit or you know, where you're going to some place, and then this person goes ahead and plans otherwise. I want to give an example of going to visit a friend, yeah, and then something comes up, you don't go, and then now this particular time she wants to go alone, and she wants you to support her. Yes. And then you're like, did you plan that I was going to support you on this? But the way you're asking is, where vile ulikuwa umepanga fanya nini? Just go. You're being aggressive, but politely. And then, you know, she keeps that. And now next time you are having a problem, she will remind you. She will, you know the way she'll hit back? Do you have a mind of your own?
I really feel for you, because I've seen a similar situation. When the journey or the visit was planned, I was not involved. But now that they want to go, they want to involve me. They call it support. It's not support. It's ambush. You're ambushing me. I wasn't planning to go there. Why didn't you let me know in advance that you are going to visit and you'd like me to accompany you? I'm accompanying you, by the way. We are not both going. I'm just accompanying you. Then suddenly it becomes an issue. I think sometimes we are not very truthful to ourselves, and we extend this to our partners, our wives and husbands, because we do not come up with things when they should be. You know, when we should come up with them, everything is just abrupt, and you have to obey and go with it. You know, and it's not easy for some of us.
Have you ever noticed when your spouse has withdrawn, even the food that they cook is incomplete, insufficient?
Yes.
Yeah, someone doesn't do her thing perfectly, or his thing perfectly.
Notices.
You will notice, definitely. Maybe if he makes good mandazis, then these days...
Not if. Just for the sake of the viewer, just let them know.
He makes good mandazis, but
now, good.
When he's so angered, he will miss maybe an ingredient, and definitely when one ingredient is out, you notice that, hey, my friend is also going to eat those mandazis.
There was a day we did
sometimes he doesn't
eat baking. So you're waiting for the mandazis to rise and they're just looking at you.
Hard as book covers. Those cannot be eaten when they are hard like that, because that was missing.
Yes.
Noticeable. You can't get to notice that.
And just it just happens. I don't know if it's done intentional or out of anger you forget to do that. But anyway, a message is passed to you.
Okay, what I can say, it is not intentional or you forgot about an ingredient you're talking about. It is because
You're not yourself.
You're not yourself. And again, you know, when you are in love, you want to do your best.
That's true.
You want to do your best. But this time around, it is like you're distracted. You just unakoroga tu. You just want to finish and do it. For the sake of doing, and I go.
Then I remember that used to be done to me. When
By somebody.
my wife knows
Your friend.
my wife knows I don't like garlic, but when she's aggressive, she puts garlic in the food.
Okay.
But thank God he came to realize that garlic is good. He's doing it nowadays.
But I learned through aggressive.
To cope. Unlike.
So just for our viewer, kindly never step into the kitchen while you are exercising or exhibiting aggressive, passive-aggressive behavior, because either you're going to put too much salt,
Or we'll burn the food.
of course. There was a time she was not talking to me, and she was doing boiling some, was it meat? Then I was in the sitting room. Then I decided, okay, now hapa dawa ya moto ni moto. You're not talking. Hata nisiongee. Unajua nyama iliungua. She came from the bedroom to go and check, and now she could not even blame me because you remember she's not talking to me. Yeah.
Let the
But
nyama burn
tulikula
and talk.
nyama imeungua.
Nyama will send a message.
Nyama iliungua.
Dave, as much as you're also discouraging our viewer not to get into the kitchen, some of those young couples here who have young children, your husband is not there, you're not talking, he's at work and you need to cook. Or he's in the house, but you still need to do what? To cook. That is why we're still reminding them some of these things are happening. That is why we're using our examples. Let them know that these things are happening. But now
they happen anytime.
They happen anytime. So whenever such thing happens, let them know that at that time you will have to bear with it the way it comes before you find a solution to it. So maybe I might put some more salt. So you start quarreling, we will go to another level.
Yes, just a statement can trigger this.
Yes.
Just one word is just enough to trigger a big issue.
Yeah.
For me, one of my biggest challenges is to, as we call it in our sitting room here, kneel by mouth. That's how I grew up. My mom would say, before you utter anything, assume you have some water in your mouth. So you can't speak with water in your mouth. In other words, she means just be silent.
Wait,
just wait, don't talk. And that's me. That's common to me. I look at it. If it's something that I can do by myself, just walk and do it. In other words, I'm sending a message that what you're doing is not good, it's bad, so I can do it better. You see, these situations are there. We just have to go on with them and get round about them very truly. But I think that the biggest problem and the challenge we have in this situation is that we are not very truthful to ourselves and to our spouses. I think if we go direct and say, oh, there's too much salt here, next time, I probably don't to say next time don't, but I'm just saying to say next time, check on this one.
Yes.
And eat it while laughing. Just persevere. Go on,
Yeah, I like
smile.
what you said. Like, eat it while laughing. You know, at times we all have our bad days, and probably the food might not have been burnt, but maybe it's not where it's supposed to be. The way your spouse is going to give you that message, is going to pass that message. You'll be like, you know what?
Just the other day, you had some food cooking on the
Stove,
cooker, and we were chatting out of the house.
Right.
And suddenly we started smelling the bunny. And we ate it laughing.
I know,
enjoying it.
You are so nice, that time.
Always nice. Always nice.
Dave, did you know there is someone, for example, if the way Richard was saying, there are people who deal with their anger. If in case something has happened and I don't want to say it immediately, I feel like me, I'm emotional, and my husband doesn't like me crying. He doesn't like me crying. So what I do instead,
I agree with him. Seeing you guys cry,
So
Mine cries without
for
any
me
reason.
not to cry and
Happiness
to deal
or
with that
anger.
problem at that time, I rather keep quiet. I keep quiet until I'm sober. Then I will want to talk about it. So
Okay.
when I am quiet, he will ask, what is the problem?
Sometimes you
Then
don't
I'm
talk
like,
about
it is
it,
okay.
yeah.
I'm okay.
All is well.
Niko
It is
sawa.
well with my soul.
Yes.
Okay, we thank you so much. Our viewer, in case you're just joining us, we have been talking about how to avoid passive-aggressive behavior, and we have realized that there is when and there are the signs. We are coming back to ask more questions. Why? Stay tuned.
Have you finally decided to live a healthier lifestyle? Or are you on the verge of making that decision?
Yes, I am. Actually, I have cleared my fridge of all unhealthy foods and I'm left with greens here and rice. This I will eat daily. Perfect.
Great job! No. That alone isn't healthy. There are a variety of plant-based foods that will give you all the nutrients that you need.
Oh, for real? Which ones?
Are you stuck as well? Watch the brand new season of Fast Foods Made Fast and learn about all the nutrients you need from a plant-based diet.
This is really good.
Fast Foods Made Fast, every Sunday at 8 p.m. on Hope Channel, Kenya.
Welcome back, Family Times, and we are well. Are you guys well?
Okay.
We are talking about avoiding passive-aggressive behavior, and we have realized that this happens anytime. It can happen in the morning, it can happen in the evening, it can happen 13 years after marriage, or 22,
Or 3 months.
or 3 months, or even 1 week. So how do we avoid it? Now we are asking questions. Why? Tai, you said this happens to either spouses, either of the spouse. So why do we act this way?
Thank you, Dave. You forgot to mention that it can also happen even here on set.
Yeah.
It is indeed happening.
It happens.
It can.
It happens when. Let me give an example of when your expectations have not been met. You have the way you expect your spouse to behave or to do certain things, and he doesn't do that or she doesn't do that. So the only way out is to hit by being aggressive passively. Another reason is maybe the way you have been brought up. As a child, you were told, don't speak your mind. So you know that even when you get into adulthood, speaking your mind is not allowed. So you'll become aggressive passively as a way of trying to bring your emotions or your feelings out. Yeah.
Okay.
Dave, maybe on top of their bringing, I have passion for children, right? So I'm reminding those parents out there that when we are bringing up our children, they also they need to give them freedom of expression. Let them speak out their mind. Allow them at least to know that if in case there's a problem, at least mommy can listen to me or dad can also listen to me, their side, so that at least their self-esteem is somewhere.
And above all, they should also know that the first person they should approach is God, who gives the best.
Yeah, thank you so much. The two ladies who have just spoken, we understand your passion for children. Just to tell our viewer that passive-aggressive behavior also applies to children. Maybe we can just bring that kidogo, and then now we go back to why this happens.
You give a child an assignment to do, and at times by day they just somehow they say that they've forgotten Ama, they didn't know. they're trying to pass a message to you. Yeah.
And when a child has low self-esteem, and low self-esteem does not only affect children, it also affects us as adults.
Yes.
When you have low self-esteem, you cannot even communicate. Communication becomes
Everything
a
is
problem.
low.
Yeah, it becomes a
Communication is
big problem.
The
So
others are also
it's
low.
you have to make your child believe in themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you read this book on Think Big, Ben Carson talks about his story.
Yes.
He had very low self-esteem, but the mother believed in him and encouraged him. So even us as adults, when we have low self-esteem, if our spouses have realized that we have low self-esteem, there are different ways that our spouses can encourage us so that we can also build that esteem, so that we won't have esteem issues.
Richard, you want to talk about children, or
Yes,
you want
children.
now to address
Yes, I want
why?
to talk about children.
Okay.
I want to talk about children. You know, children need to be brought up so that they understand or they get to know why it is good to speak or talk, be open, stay when things cannot be done. Because much of our relationship with children is about giving assignments and giving them work to do. It's called character building, in other words. And while we are doing that, sometimes we overwhelm our children. We want them to do a lot. And one thing followed by another and another and another, we forget the fact that they're children. And therefore they end up doing whatever we want them to do out of respect or fear.
Yeah, fear.
And when they do that, because they don't know how to talk to us, to tell us the exact thing that they feel. You know, I'm in the sphere, in the area where I work, I handle children, and for example, I'm a teacher and I give them some work to do. And the numbers are so many, they'll end up doing it, carelessly or otherwise. They're overwhelmed, they can't tell me no because I'm a teacher. And they grow up so that when they see people who are older than them or people who are more authoritative and have the authority in their hands, they end up not talking and saying exactly how they feel. It would be easier for a pupil or a child to tell you, Malimu, this is too much for me, I can't handle it anymore, you know, and then you listen to that. But many of them just go on with it. And as they go on with it, they learn to accept it, and what they accept and learn, they will apply. At the time when they have authority.
Sometimes a child becomes rebellious. You can't understand. Wherever he is just causing a lot of chaos and a lot of fights. But you should not punish that child.
Yeah.
Just come and talk to that child. Be open to that child. He or she will tell you what she's going through. She's just trying to bring it up in another way, which is just trying to pass you a message. But if you're not keen to read, you'll be judging and rejecting this child, and yet he's being destroyed or she's being destroyed inside.
Children struggle to understand how you can't, as an adult, can't see that what I'm doing here is just so much for me. Though they'll be passive. They'll be passive.
I was saying, did you know that as we're living with our children, they also learn how to solve problems the way we do. So if that passive and aggressive behavior, they always know that mommy and daddy today they are not talking. And when they know, they will also want to know how do they solve it, or what happened and how did they. So when they grow up, it will also maybe somehow affect them. They will also know how this is the way I will keep quiet until the time when I'll feel like I want to talk about it.
That's true.
So I'm done.
The other day, we had a discussion with her, and we didn't know that our firstborn was keenly listening. Then I made a comment. I think it was about breakfast. Then I made a comment that taking porridge and bread is like eating ugali mbili. That is double starch. And my firstborn daughter was like, na ile siku silitupea. You know, that happened, I think, almost 6 or 8 months ago.
Wow.
She kept quiet.
She kept quiet by then. That night she kept quiet, and then she told me, "Mommy, let me just tell you something." Then I'm like, "What happened?" You remember yesterday at night? I told her, Daddy was talking about uji and bread. And imagine when you are away, hey, we were given that, and that is what is available. You just need to eat it.
You're trying to kind of threaten her to shut up. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
No, that is what I told her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
But actually, she never mentioned it.
Yes.
She kept quiet.
So in my defense, I realized what I did. So in my defense, I was like, but you guys loved it. The uti was nice. Remember, there was peanut, bread.
Yes.
You guys loved it.
Yeah.
But I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
And just as you were talking, I've also noticed that she has been asking for something.
Yes.
But lately, she went quiet on it. And thank you guys so much for bringing this. And because I've just remembered that when I leave this place, I'm going to buy her what she has been asking. Do you know it?
Very important.
I don't know. How do you call them? The sleep-ins, huh?
Oh, for kids.
Yeah, you remember she has been asking for it for a long time. So just that is just to tell you, viewer, that we are not perfect.
Yeah.
We are also learning, and we learn a lot from everyone who sits here. Now let's come back to why, because now we've just Tai has mentioned 2 reasons why this happens. One, you talked about disappointment,
Upbringing.
and then upbringing. Any other?
Disappointment.
Yeah, disappointment.
Yeah, if your spouse has disappointed you in one way or the other, like if there's something that you're expecting from him and he did not do it, then you're going to be passing a message by not doing what he wants, just to pass that message.
Or doing what he doesn't want.
Yeah, exactly.
Or doing what he doesn't.
If you're supposed, for instance, if you're supposed to meet at 9, I end up coming at 10.
Yes.
Like maybe we're supposed to meet somewhere and then do something, and the timeline was 9 o'clock. I decide, hey, I get busy, and I come at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a reaction. It's just
to remind you
reactive.
that it is only heaven where there is no disappointment. And the song says there is no disappointment in heaven, no weariness, sorrow, pain. Any other reason why we do this?
I don't know.
Okay, go
I don't know whether this can work. I was also feeling that if you don't keep the standard where we started, and all of a sudden,
I'm in agreement.
It is down.
Really.
And I'm feeling like you nowadays don't take me out. What happened? And I started feeling like maybe in my mind I'm thinking of so many things, and I find myself also so away. It's like we have grown apart. So I pray that if possible, I know sometimes at some point, maybe resources or something, things might happen on the way.
Change,
But once in a while, it is good for us to keep the standard.
Standards,
as we move on.
Dissatisfaction.
You're
not satisfied. Whatever you want is not given to the amount or the quality that you want. And you're disappointed. You're disappointed. And your way of trying to react to that is to come up with a new behavior. You think, well, I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to show him that here I'm disappointed. And he has to feel it. You're not beating, but you just have to feel it. You are talking and throwing your sentence here, there, you think there are responses, there are none. The food is there, it's not brought the normal way that it is brought. It's just dropped there, and you're here waiting for the next thing. We normally sit together. Now I'm tired.
Sometimes the kids are used, huh?
Yes.
Casey, chakula iko ready.
Yeah, not you.
Casey is supposed to be everyone.
You should you're not Casey, but you should understand that the food is on the table.
In a polite way.
Okay, so what are we supposed to do? Call your husband humbly and just let him know that the food is ready.
And your food is
and
ready.
pray.
Standards.
If
your standard was, I call this man, come, the table is set, then continue doing it despite everything else. But if you relent on that and I'm doing my things here, I'm writing, I'm looking at my phone, I'm watching TV, and you're not telling me.
You actually don't even say food is ready.
No,
you say
you call Wayne.
Food in a power.
Chakula inapoa.
Which would mean two things in today's Kiswahili. It may be very good food, or it's just cooling.
Just say the food,
So thank you, Stella, for bringing in one of the reasons. one of the ways we cope up. So how again should we cope up with this behavior? With a spouse who is acting passively, is it?
Passive aggressive.
Passive
aggressive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dave, before maybe we get there, allow me to put one point that I think we are leaving out. Finances. More especially men. When there is no money, they tend to coil back and they don't want to talk about it. You know, I don't know whether I'm the only one who sees this.
I don't think it's unique to the situation. I don't think so.
It is familiar?
It is very familiar.
Okay.
There are things that will just annoy when there's no money.
Yeah.
Men, we
meet
secure
expectations.
ourselves. Commonly, men secure ourselves in finances.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being somebody who can provide everything that is needed. You are there when that need is there, because being there means your money is there. Giving the assurance that everything is there. When you can't provide that, you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're a little weak.
And then also you realize that when you are in good terms,
Yes.
that is when you are asked for things.
Yes.
So when you know you don't have money, you'd rather keep quiet so that nothing comes out.
Planning didn't go well.
Who's in a situation, to be
When there
honest?
was no plan, maybe if finances are not shared, sometimes I will ask you for something and you know very well maybe by that time there's no money. So what will you do?
Especially when you want to, I've got a little of that ego. And I should be the provider here. And I don't have it. And you're putting it across everybody. Everybody listens to this guy doesn't have it.
Yeah.
You draw me aside and tell me.
Utumie hiyo tissue vizuri. Hatuna
Yes. That exposes you very badly. Because you are the one to provide that and you can't provide it. So it hits you.
Yeah.
It can be very devastating.
Sometimes when you ask for things, you're just so much mad and aggressive and angered.
But I mean, the spouse also has to be realistic. Just like Wycliffe said that it cuts both.
Yes.
It could be me who doesn't have a job, it could be you. But of course, if it's the man, it's different. So if Richard doesn't have a job, I have to be realistic, surely. I cannot expect him to provide an orange if I know he doesn't have the money. So I will go ahead and buy the orange, and if God has blessed us with a child, I'll make sure I say, hey, daddy brought this, or daddy gave me money to. I think that will also.
It is always good to be truthful.
Yes.
To be very
It is
truthful
always good to be truthful, but at times, okay, not at times. It's always good to be truthful all the
to
time.
your situation.
But we are also helping each other. We remember we are co-drivers.
Yes.
Yeah, we are co-drivers, and yes, my son or my daughter might know that the dad does not have a job, but there's a way he's hustling. Yeah, there's a way he's.
The book of John chapter 8 verse 32 says, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Yeah, let the family know the truth. Dad doesn't
have a job.
So he's going to be set free by that.
Everyone be set free.
All those who have issues with that missing provision, they will understand.
They'll come to understand, and they will not even give you pressure.
Yeah.
They know that it doesn't have this. Oh, mommy now is the one who is the breadwinner and has some small money. So this is what we can be able to.
And in some cases, the children should not even know that where the money is coming from.
Yeah, I think
they should know that money has come from our parents.
Yeah, I think.
Now, as we come to the end, and this is my favorite part, there's someone out there who is going through what we've just discussed. Is there hope?
Is there hope?
Is there hope?
Yes. Is there hope?
Yeah, of course there is hope. There is hope. I want to take you back that I married a friend, as I said.
Yeah.
And I want to believe each and every one of you married a friend. Yeah? So whenever there is this problem that makes you grow apart, just remember where you started. Always communicate. I know it is not easy, That ego in us, we are praying that God may remove it.
The pride.
So that, yes, so that we can at least come and sit and discuss. When the Bible reminds us, Christ calls us that come let us reason together. So whenever you learn to call upon your spouse and you say, let's talk about this, I know it's not easy, but we can hold each other's hand as we walk. There is hope, viewer. There is hope you can make it in such a situation.
And just a yes or no answer, do you think we can end the passive-aggressive behavior?
We can, yes, but with time. It doesn't just end pap. It takes time.
Okay.
So you need to be patient with your spouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Omukutai, is there hope?
Yes, indeed, there is hope. When all things are done, you come back and ask yourself, is it worth it to continue to hold on to these things that may even hurt our health? So the good book, the Bible, tells us that do unto others that which you will them, would expect them to do unto you. So if you expect someone to forgive you, forgive.
Yes.
If you expect someone to love you, love back. Yeah, so and of course somewhere again also the good book says that it's only fools who have a hatred in their hearts.
Maybe you could read that verse.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 9.
That we should read. Ecclesiastes is somewhere in the Bible.
Chapter 7
I found
verse 9.
chapter 7 verse
9.
Or is that
verse 9, it says,
passive-aggressive behavior?
just relax. 7:9 says, be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry,
Yeah.
for anger resetted in the bosom of fools.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Very strong.
You done? Can we end this? Is it possible to end the passive-aggressive behavior?
It is. All things are possible.
Amen. Who want to go first?
I will. Let me
Tavi,
go.
go ahead.
Dear viewer, this is a very interesting topic that has personally helped me, and I've learned that anytime I realize that Richard has some issues, I wait for when he's happy and we talk about it. And most of the times we want to wait and talk when we're not all happy. It will not lead anywhere. So just wait and know. Of course, after I've given him some food and he's full and is a little happy, I'll be able to share with him what really is hurting me. And that one we'll be able to solve. So give it a try and put God first.
You see, the truth is, one of the questions that I was not very comfortable with is, can we end this? And even as we were beginning this show, I was sure that we were not going to, I mean, the insights that we've had, I'm also certain that, yes, this can end. Remember, it happens anytime.
Yeah.
Dush.
Let me, to our viewer out there, let me encourage you by a verse. The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verses 32, it says, be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. Need to bear with each other. Just forgive the other person. Be the bigger person. Just ask for forgiveness from the other party. I know God has a way of working everything out. As long as you're also tending to be like God, He'll always be there for us and help us. There is hope. Yeah, there is hope.
I think I've benefited more. I don't know about our viewer, but you could read that verse again so that
it says,
there's two strong words I've heard there.
Ephesians chapter 4 verses 32. It says, and be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another.
3.
Yeah, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you.
Very powerful. Richard?
Thank you, Dave, and our viewer. We realize that it is possible to end this behavior. On our own, we can do as much to try and end it. In fact, if we are kind-hearted, if we are reaching each other, if we realize, and in realizing, I want to say that it's important that we get to know and always imagine that we can as well be showing or exhibiting that behavior to our spouses. Sure. Get to that place where you can also reflect on your own and realize, am I doing that? Do I often do that to my spouse? And from there, start from saying, as we have seen here, that seek forgiveness. When you seek forgiveness, you're opening a door for discussion, and you're opening a door to solving whatever issue that may exist. So there is hope. And I believe, as my colleagues here say, that we can end this one. Let us rely on God, because God is able to use us for the purpose of giving peace in our own families. So there is hope. Thank you.
Asante sana. I just thought of reading this verse before we end. It's again from the book of Philippians chapter 4. I know we all love verse 13, which says,
I can do all things.
Say it like you mean it.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Just ordered you on side. Philippians 4 verse 8 says, finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. It is true from this verse that we can put to an end the passive-aggressive behavior. And remember, as Tabi normally says, be the person. Be that person.
Be the bigger person.
Be the bigger person and make it happen. Thank you so much, guys, for again gracing the show.
They can have the fruits.
Of course, they don't have an apple over there. So,
You can pass it.
you can have this. My hands are clean, so don't worry. But you can wash them. So, viewer, thank you so much for joining us once again. Remember, we've been talking about how to avoid passive-aggressive behavior. And it is true. It can happen anytime. We know the signs, and we know why it happens. Once we know the signs and we know why it happens, then we can also know how to avoid it. Thank you so much, and God bless you, even as we plan again for another exciting show only on Family Times. God bless you, and see you next time.